Hi, this is Gloria, your life coach. Welcome to another episode of Life's a Shuffle.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson, your life coach, leadership coach, motivation speaker, and health coach, and welcome to another episode of Life's a Shuffle. Today we're going to discuss Freestyle Thursday. You know, what's on my list of freestyle, and my list for this week is I have 9 more days, actually, probably more like 14 more days. 9 more days before I shut down my gym, and 14 days before I leave California indefinitely. And I've been talking about this and I'm very, very excited to enter a new chapter of my life. I'm very excited to experience less people. It's really overcrowded in California, very expensive. Those that know or live here already. I'm more importantly very excited because I will thus be achieving a lot of goals and more or less dreams I set out in my life since I can't remember, since I was 16, 17 years old, and achieving that right now. And it feels very wonderful. But I guess this has been a tough week for me as well. You know, as you get through going through things, monotony, let's say you're doing the same over and over again. And I come to realize that doing the same thing over and over again that's not in line with my values really creates a lot of emotional trauma, ups and downs emotional. It can create, for me, when I'm going through stress sometimes, I eat junk food. Junk food is French fries. That's my go to. But the reason why you have these issues of go-to food or stress and all these things are happening to you is because you inherently your body does not like where it's at, the mind doesn't like where it's at, so it needs happiness somewhere. So if hanging out with a friend or drinking a beer or eating junk food provides you happiness, the body will do it, but it's only temporarily. So I came to crossroads. I realize now I want to be and do something completely different in my life, and if I don't make moves now, I will only inhibit my time from actually crossing that jump or that leap. As you guys know, that I'm a personal trainer and health coach, and as I transition out of this, it's very hard to, the money's coming in, and you have to make money to pay bills. Right now, I'm doing that, and it's creating more suffering than that's quality of life for me. And I want to focus on really coaching clients, help people out, and really all of us need help and getting their mind in the right order because this is my purpose in life. And that's why I feel very overwhelmed, exhausted this week because I know I'm only got 14 more days left in California. I'm trying to finish all these client sessions, but I want to do something else. It's like a pulse. It's getting louder and it's getting more apparent. So that's kind of what's going on in my mind right now. What about you, Gloria?
You're ready. You're ready to get out of the current situation you have right now. I think because what it is too is in the back of your mind, you already know what you really want to do. So and I think we had this discussion earlier before the podcast, is that while you're doing what you're currently doing, there's something else that you want to be working on, but you can't because your time right now is here with what you're doing right now. If that makes sense.
It does.
So it's kind of like, God, I want to do this. Like, let's say I want to sit in front of my computer and I want to work on my flyer, and I need to get this out, and I have all these great ideas in my head right now if I want to create it. But you're doing something else right now, you're doing your job. So you can't. You can't just leave and go to a computer and work on that. So kind of like the excitement you kind of lose the excitement a little bit because of that. And that's
No, it's worse. You forget.
oh, you forget. Okay.
By the time I do have time, I'm like, oh God, I'm so exhausted. I don't want to open my computer. I just want to sit and eat or sit and watch TV. So the energy, where for me, everybody has different energy times of the day. Mine's always in the morning. So if I want to get something done, early morning is the best. Um, but throughout the day, my energy goes down. And if I'm very fatigued, um, I won't get it done. I just won't do it. And it gets more and more behind because I'm going to work on the flyer off the podcast, we were talking about the meetup group. Those that haven't known me or haven't seen, I'm doing virtual seminars this coming Saturday. So you and I are going doing a seminar together.
Mhm.
And obviously, with that, you got to market that, right? I mean, unless I had a $10,000, $15,000 marketing budget I can be working with, I can be doing a lot of different things out there getting in front of people. But you don't. You have a limited amount of resources, and you got to start small, right? Which is create flyers, use a platform that already exists, Facebook. Instagram, as you know today, if you notice, LinkedIn now has stories too. So the LinkedIn is now getting into that program. So now, how on Instagram you post on your story, yeah, the same thing on LinkedIn now. So I post on my story a couple of times this week, then LinkedIn. So it's more or less when I don't have the time to do what I need to work on to get my business going. And what I'm trying to really say is, if you really want to do something in life and you really, really want it in your heart, you have to spend time working on it. You can't say, well, I want this, but I'm working on this now. I want this, but I'm doing this now. No, you got to put aside the time to work on that if you want that to grow. The
Mhm.
other day, my son messaged me. He's like, Dad, I want to start a business.
Oh.
So first thing I asked, I said, son, this is my youngest son, Isaiah. I said, so son, what kind of business do you want? Because I want to get more clarity. He says, well, I want to own a car dealership. What kind of car dealership, son? He says, I want Mercedes Benz and luxury cars. I
Mhm.
says, now my other question was, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because that's something I always wanted to do. So my next question is, hey son, how you gonna brand yourself? Then he said, I don't know. So the reason why I asked him a question about brand, right? A brand becomes how you identify yourself.
Mhm.
Amazon with the little smiley face is how they identify itself. So when you see a smiley face, you know it's Amazon. When you see the brown UPS truck, you know that's UPS. So the reason why I said how you brand yourself, because then the brand will create the image. So the brand will create the image so people can recognize you by certain something, right? Like me, I'm known as RJ, RJ Health and Fitness. My first name is Ron, last name is Johnson. So people don't even know that somebody as RJ. So I'm trying to get him to think through the process. First is the reason why I asked him why he's want to own a business, because people don't understand owning a business is not the glitz and glamour you see. Okay, own a business, you make great money, you set your own schedule. Yeah, that's after about 20 years of really hard work. Okay. Second, which is probably the most important I should mention first, is that if you don't know what you want to do, you won't create any energy to keep going at times are tough. You won't create the energy you need to work 15 hours a day, work 12 hours a day, work 20 hours a day, nonstop, month after month. So if you're doing something just to do it, but not really want to do it, then when times get tough or when things are not going your way, you would give up. So obviously that's not what you really want to do, because that's really what you want to do. You wouldn't give up no matter what. So that's what I was trying to get my son to understand, because coming from a business perspective, I had to find something, personal training was, like I mentioned before on other podcasts, it was to get me on my full time career. Now, doing personal training, I realized I want to do something more impactful, not for myself, but for the world. And becoming this coach and helping people is how I impact the world. Because if I can help impact one person, how I impact them, stay with them forever, they never impact somebody else, but the change in your life, not just changing the body, but changing your life, that is so powerful right there.
Mhm. Amen.
Thank
And
you.
geez, it's like I felt like I was such a good preach, like, mhm.
I should
You
preach to the
know,
choir, right?
I know. You should start singing too. I feel like
I
I'll be in the
should.
background, but,
Back a finger.
no, I can't sing. I'll be the dancer in the background, just waving my hands while you do that.
I like
And
it.
I just thought about, Freestyle Thursday, I feel like you should also do a rap, freestyle in it.
If I knew how to rap or beatbox, I would have done it already.
That would
That'd
have
been an
been
intro.
so cool, right. There you go. I
I
was
stick to what I'm good at. That's what I do at this point.
you know what? Doesn't matter. I think for me, um, when I'm out there, like, if I go dancing, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm a great dancer. I do love to dance, but, hey, you know what? After, like, a drink, I don't even care. I just wanna dance. If I love the music, I'm gonna dance. So, I don't know how I look, what I look to other people out there watching me if I'm dancing in the middle of the dance floor, but I don't care. If I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it.
Keep it
So,
going. I love it.
yeah, if you can rap, who cares? Whatever rap is to you, do it.
I really enjoy that. Okay. Okay, I will.
Yeah. I was so going back to with your son, what I was thinking about, listening to you is that w- there's something good about that though that I find is that he has you to look up to, and he has you to guide him through this. And the fact that he's already thinking about it right now at such a young age, and then he has you behind him all this, which will help him maybe later on and realize if this is really what he wants to do later or not.
You know what? So those that don't know this is that I don't have the best relationship with my kids. But for me, it's now I want to try building that relationship because time is not over. So I'm not dead. They're not dead. We're still alive. So you still have time. You still have the ability to do it because you're still alive. So I thought that was great.
Mhm.
He reached out to me because there's something he wants to do, but he doesn't know where to turn to. So he turned to who
You.
who would not turn to their parents. But if my dad was still alive today, I would turn to him for all business because he is a business owner himself.
Mhm.
So maybe this is a legacy too. So, but it felt really good. The fact he reached out to me and says, Dad, I'm gonna start a business. What should I do? Even at a young age. When I was his age, I didn't want to own a business. He's 15. I saw what my dad went through with employees and people and the ups and downs. Like, oh, I never want to own a business. I really said that to myself, even at that age. But fast forward 20 years later, I have my business. I can't go back to not owning a business.
It's in the blood. It's in the
It's in
Johnson
blood.
blood. It's
That's
in
what
the
they say.
Johnson
But
blood.
out of all of Johnson blood, the DNA, there's only been how many business owners have there been? Myself, my dad, and that's it.
You know, I'm going to go back to, I think, our very, very first podcast when we talked about regrets. And this is one of the things that we talked about was, not having that relationship with your kids. And I think as far as I can remember, I remember saying something like, as they get older, it'll change because when they start having when they start getting to a certain age, maybe becoming like young adults and to a point where they'll end up having maybe eventually having their own lives, right? They'll see all these things. And whatever it was that happened between you and their mom, they'll they probably won't even question that because what they will want eventually is to get to know you. Like, I have a dad. Let me get to know my dad. Let me have a relationship with my dad because when they get older, sometimes kids they look for that. And I can't speak for them because I don't know what they're thinking and how they're feeling, but I can almost feel like I guess I can say I can almost relate to it. If I feel like I know what they're thinking, but I really don't. For me, because as I've gotten older, see the difference is they didn't hate you, or they didn't hate you as much as I felt like I hated my father growing up, right? But as I've gotten older, I started looking for that. I started looking for that type of relationship and reaching out to my dad. Like I think it's time, because they're getting older. They need a father.
Hmm.
And I'm sure they're grateful and I appreciate their mom, and it's not easy being a single parent, and they know that and they love their mom, but they eventually will want a relationship with their father. I mean, they're boys. The boys want a relationship with their father because it's different. And I think, even though they may not say it to you, this could be their way of reaching out to you slowly. I think it's a good start, and I think what I feel and what I see here is that you're inspiring them somehow.
I won't doubt it. I won't doubt they see that. Um, I think as human beings, we want understanding from whatever we're going through. And I think my kids seem, they're at that age where they do have social media, Facebook, Instagram. I see my post. They probably say, well, my dad's different. I want to get to know my dad. Or how can I reach out to him? Or how can I have a conversation? And they don't know how, so they don't do it. Or in this case, my son may use the way he talked about a business to reach out to me. And that was great. I responded back right away. Um, but we need to, I think there is no right or wrong time to do something good. For me, this is the right time to connect with my kids. And for them, this is what they needed. Probably need that father figure. I think, as always, I
Mhm.
thought to myself, their mom did an awesome job raising them as a single parent because I've been in California, she's been on the East Coast. She's done a good job, but at this point, I think they want to go further in life. And when
Mhm.
they see me going further. And who doesn't want to go further in life? No one's standing still.
Mhm.
For them, it's the time to go further. They're becoming, young adults, and as they transition from high school to college to now becoming in the workforce or owning a business, they need guidance.
Yeah.
When I was there, my dad didn't. He guided me, but it was more. How can I explain this? He guided me in a sense to preparing for the future, but didn't guide me in the present. And best way to describe that, he's preparing me for what I will need later on, but at the moment, I need something different. See, because that's why I always talk about. I didn't understand when I was a kid, but I understand now. So he's always preparing me for the future, but not the present. Now, that may have been how he was raised. Hey, no, I'm going to raise you a certain way because you're going to need this in the future. I'm not for sure he's not there to answer these questions, but he did prepare me for him now. So, ironically, maybe me saying I didn't want a business at a young age, their age, 15, 16, but my dad instilled me these values then before 15 and 16, we closed down his business. Because after he closed down his business, he became retired, and I started in the workforce. So working at Gymboree, I worked at Foot Action, I worked at Fry's. Now I got my own business. I think it's now those tools I was giving, now I can open that toolbox and use them now when I need them. Because now I have the experience.
Yeah.
Now you have the drive. Now you have determination. Now you have to go. Now you know how to pursue what you want. At 25, 26, 30, you have no determination to pursue what you want. There's a few out there that really have it, but most don't.
And through your experiences, whether it's good or bad, now you can help with your kids, your son, and guide them through that,
Oh, heck yeah.
you know? And that's where you come in. And I mean, I think it's great. It's wonderful that, that they're 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 reaching out to you and that you're there. I mean, heck, I would take advantage of that. Like, oh my God, I'm starting to cry right now. I think 'cause I'm thinking, I wish my dad would do the same thing. So, I think I think it's wonderful. This could be a great start for you and your kids. Like like when I said I wish, because I think I try to reach out, but I felt like reaching out wasn't working, or maybe he doesn't want me back in his life. Who knows, But yeah, and I think with the boys getting older, they're at that stage and that point in their life where life is beginning for them and they're having a better understanding of a lot of things now.
That's right.
So yeah. I mean, they were younger. They didn't understand. They didn't know they didn't have to know anything. They didn't have to know what was happening with you and their mom. They didn't need to know all that. They were young. But as they get older now, they're just at, like I said, they're at a better understanding of life now, and they're looking for that relationship with you.
I think they are. I think at this point they're looking for that missing piece.
Yeah.
They're looking for the piece of puzzle they need, and they're ready to now make an impact. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm surprised my son want to own a luxury car dealership. Great. What are you gonna brand yourself? What are you gonna call yourself? Because that to me is a very key. Is what are you gonna brand your business, and why is it important to you? Because I want to understand what his thought process was. If he said, "Well, I can make a lot of money and all this stuff," then I realized, wait a minute, son, that's not how it works. The first 5 years, you're gonna really have to navigate this new paradigm because you're no one that starts a car dealership knows all the ins and outs. You can read all these books, but when the book was written, could have been 5 years ago. Things can change, right? And what is it now? Because of COVID, I was hearing from one of my police clients that they're allowing people to test drive the cars alone. So what happened? Someone stole two cars
Oh my god.
because they test drive a car alone. So if you're a dealership, that's a new paradigm. How do you navigate that sucker? Because now you
Mhm.
can't have a person in the car with you because social distance. You get a copy of that guy's driver's license or her driver's license, and they take the car for a test drive and don't come back.
Yeah. Wow.
And being California, that's a slap on the wrist. He was telling me that guy, the stupid guy steals one of these Suburbans at 80K, okay, and it has OnStar. So not like the GPS it. Kind of find out he was one of his construction workers. They found the car, and obviously they tailed it. Then he parked the car somewhere. He got out, calls dispatch. It's like, hey, I want to turn myself in. Turns himself in. And a few hours later, he's let go. They find him stealing another car.
Oh, same person?
Same person.
Oh gosh.
But I asked more context, like, is this a ring or something? What's going on? He's a
Mhm.
meth dealer. He needs a car.
Mm, that makes sense.
Not meth dealer, he's a meth addict.
Oh,
So
okay.
now he just does the thing, okay, I need a car. He takes one.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate that? So that's why I asked him the question, why does he want this business? Because things like that I need to navigate. Now, granted, okay, you can say, well, he has insurance, they have insurance, but insurance company figure out, wait a minute here, I can't fit these bills with these missing cars. They start charging more for insurance, right? So I'll find out more detail how he's going to be a car dealership owner.
Yeah, I mean,
You
he
know,
still has a lot of time. He's still young, and like I said, this is what you're here for.
yeah,
Not only as a father to them, but like a mentor, right? So I'm sure this came from somewhere. It can't just be like I want to be a business owner or whatever. Let me call my dad. No, I think it really came from somewhere. I think it was something that's been waiting to happen. Like I want to talk to him. I want to reach out to him. How do I do it? How do I start it? Where do I start? And if that's the case, gosh, that's totally understandable. Like I went through that. I didn't even know how to reach out to my dad.
wow. See,
I didn't. I had to go through somebody to try to reach out to him. And how they did it, both of them, even now your youngest one, I think that's so cool because he's really growing up.
yeah, he's coming to his own person.
And I think it's so much more better and it has more meaning when they actually reach out more to you personally than going through like a middle person.
I think it does. I mean, it right there builds more trust, more bond with your son, daughter, your kids, any person.
Yeah, because they really want to do it. So, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that this is happening for you and I'm happy that, your kids are reaching out to you and I think it would be a great wonderful start for you and the boys.
Mm, interesting.
Good story. Yep. So, that's cool. Um what else is up? Gosh, I was just kind of for a minute there. I was so touched by it, and I was just started getting teary eyed. I think because I was also thinking about my situation, right? I thought about like, gosh, I wish my dad would do the same thing. I went through a phase where "Oh, he doesn't want me anymore. He doesn't want me. He doesn't want to have anything to do with me. Gosh, I was doing that for a while, but I don't know. I mean, I think I made I'm sure I made a mistake too. I'm at fault too at some point, but whatever that is. And like even what you said, when is the right time? We don't know when the right time is. It'll happen. And I think for you and with your kids, it's happening. So I think it's wonderful.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah. Good.
Matter of fact, my oldest will be on our podcast soon. Just don't know when. I'm waiting for his microphone to be delivered from Amazon. Get him set up so he can
Nice.
be on our podcast.
I'm
I'll let you.
excited for that. And did you kind of discuss the kind of topic we want to talk about maybe?
I haven't discussed it with him yet. I
Okay.
will discuss, but I think we discussed it. It was growing up without a father being present, and I want to get more clarity on how they're feeling.
Yeah.
Granted, I heard how mom feels, but that's just clearly frustration. She's by herself, she needs help, and all that stuff. I want to hear their perspective.
But
What's
this
going
is
on.
yeah, and this is between you and them, not between this has nothing to do with her anymore. You know what I mean? And I think it'd be interesting to hear their side and even growing up what they felt and what they saw and at that time and then now. What they see now and how they feel now compared to how they were feeling when they were younger cuz
Hmm.
it really does change.
It does.
Everything changes. Your feelings change, as you get older. It just changes. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That would be cool. That would be exciting. So Now it's time for you to wrap.
I can't do that. Even if I tried, I don't think I would try. I don't think I even try because I wouldn't know how to start. I wouldn't know how to end. That's
Freestyle. You freestyle. And then if you
freestyle.
wanna
Is
rhyme, you can rhyme.
freestyle talking, not a problem. Freestyle rapping or jazz, just I stick to my day job. I know what I'm good at.
That's too funny.
Maybe I can ask my son if he'll rap. We'll see.
Oh, there you go. If he has, if he could do it, why not? And the beatboxing, oh my god, I would love to hear that.
Oh, they know nothing about beatboxing. They're too young.
Well, you'll never know. But you know
You never
what?
know, right?
Yeah, you'll never know. But I mean, they're into sports, so that's cool. I'm sure there's so much that they could talk about. I think the other one would be balancing. Balancing school, sports, friends, home.
COVID,
Um,
social distancing, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, with their age at that age right now, it's a lot. This whole COVID thing, I'm sorry if I offend anybody out there, but I'm so done with this. I just can we just go back to our normal life? It- this um I think I've told you about this with distance learning and being in front of the computer all day, staring at the kids and just watching them. I can't do it anymore. I'm just zoomed out. And I was thinking to myself this week that, man, if we have to keep this going until for the end of the year, or I don't know how long I can last. I don't know how long I'm going to last. But thank God we're going back to school. We're going back on campus in a couple of weeks. Um, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm happy. And speaking to with a lot of the kids at our school, they can't wait. They can't wait to go back because I think a lot of us are really done with this whole situation. I know that it's still not as safe. It's still pretty scary out there and dangerous, whatever it is that so many people are feeling. Still a lot of many people that are very paranoid out there. But time will come. It's like when when do we go back to just living our normal life again? I get it. I know it's not going to be the same, and it might, this could be the new norm, but let's go already. Let's keep moving, move on.
And that brings up the point is that with a lot of things happening, a lot of people have felt we've been lied to as a nation about COVID. What to do, how to behave, and I think for all of us, we're getting frustrated because there's so many opinions. You open COVID right now, there's a million different opinions, conspiracy theories, people that work with the CDC, people that work with the WHO, and oh my God, at some point you have to shut it down. My client the other day says, when the pandemic first happened, I was very scared. I didn't want to go out. But within the last 2 months, he says, I stopped listening and looking at any news. And I said to myself, I'm going to live my life because he got tired of living in fear. He got tired of being in shelter. He didn't understand it, don't know what to do, doesn't know how to behave. It's very, very touch and go with people's feelings. Some people are really scared. Some people are in the middle. Some people are okay. So we have to navigate that situation too. So he just says, I'm going to live my life. And you know what? Whatever you decide to do, it's always your choice.
It is.
So with that being said, thanks for listening to Life's a Shuffle, another Freestyle Thursday. Definitely can't wait to get my son on here to talk about his life and talk about my life this week. Next week, it'll be almost 3, 4 days before I leave. We talk about what's going on. I'm super excited. Packing is crazy right now. But guys, thank you for your support and thank you for tuning into another episode of Life's a Shuffle. This is Ron Johnson, life coach, leadership coach, and motivational speaker.
And don't forget, join us this coming Sunday, September 27th, with Ron's virtual seminar. Again, this is Gloria, life coach. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Life's a Shuffle.